ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Final Fantasy IX. Again, starting in an area we were not in before. On the other side of Galsmuk's Grotto is Vermisia right here, and let's head on in. I'd say continuing with where the story left off and not talk about hot and cold. Got to say. If I recall correctly, this place is supposed to be eternally rainy, so I don't expect this rain noise to ever stop. Apparently, Suya has left her home city for 5 years. Anyway. There we go. Vermisia, the realm of eternal rain. Anyway. Alright. Now we are able to be attacked even though we are in a city. And while we're here, let's pick this up. This is cancer. And if you don't get the joke, not really cancer. This is, if you missed earlier, this is actually one of the Stellazo. Ares cancer. If you didn't watch the important item thing, I don't blame you. The key item video. It's just, like I said, Stellazo. I'd say this one is the cancer part of the story. All 13 of them create a story. I will explain the story whenever I get there. There is a side quest involving the Stellazo, so Stellazo. I cannot decide on a name for them. When I get to the point where I'm actually turning them in and getting the rewards, I'll explain them in detail. Anyway, here's Zorn and Thorn. Again in control of the Black Mages. I still, if I recall, these are the level 1 Black Mages. Meaning they can only cast level 1 spells. Anyway. At this point, they're not really... Oh, I forgot to unmute. Okay. About to say, at this point, I'm just going to, let's show off Blizzara. I don't know what I was trying to say that whole time. Anyway. Once again, spreading a spell out, it dilutes its effect, but at the same time, you're using magic on mages. They are a little bit resistant to magic, so using magic on them is not going to be what I constantly do. I just showed off that spell. Anyway, the general. Apparently they're going to go tell the general on us. Real quick, I'm going to use an Echo Strain on Curse. Anyway, we're going over here. Oh, right. This part. This will introduce you to a new enemy type. See, a couple of new things, actually. There are enemies in this area who can use Petrify, I believe. Anyway, we can't use that door quite yet to get to what we need. Anyway, enemies. The enemies here should be Black Mages or Iron Knights, which, if I encounter one, I'll explain. That's an Iron Knight. And that is our first instant of a dragon. Fortunately, they are kind of weak. Jump. No, not eat. Wow. That was actually kind of lucky. I didn't know that Ironites could be turned into stone. Once again, that gives us no experience, but that's fine. We're kind of decently leveled for most of us. Anyway, going up the stairs here to the next door. Right, okay. You'll see that treasure chest up there in the top corner. There's one down here too. That treasure chest up in the top corner will introduce us to our enemy. Meet the Mimic. There are not very many of these, at least not that I remember. But they do this. Oh, he only summoned one, that's fine. I don't remember what those are called, but wow. They're not that strong. Unlike Curse's Eat, this does not get rid of you in combat. This just does damage and hurts. I have to say. I'm trying to remember what how strong this is, but... Wow, call didn't work. I thought it would have. Okay. Anyway, see, not too strong. Yep, not too strong a monster. If I recall correctly, the guy it summons with the staff can drop down and steal, but it's one of the thief family. Anyway, going over here. Say there's a gate, but we can't open it because if you recognize the little bell on top again, you'll realize this place follows a very familiar pattern of needing bells. Now, here's a little tip for you. Don't run across this. If you do, you can't get this treasure chest. What you do after you get the treasure, though, is you do run across it. There you go. Otherwise, you can't proceed. You have to put that down, so you, it's better if you just get the Germanos boots anyway. Germanos, however you there said. Anyway. If we fought this enemy before, we haven't. We're indoors. Indoors and outdoors, there are different sets of enemies. This is the one that can stone you. It only has gradual petrify, though. So, thankfully, it only has gradual petrify. Hank. And it has slow. See, unfortunately, that has slowed down and left, which is the second person to get a turn next turn. Doesn't matter, I don't think he's going to survive, though. If I recall, those things are actually immune to petrify themselves, but I don't mean anything. The only way we can cause petrify is if we get lucky with Curse's fork. Curse's learned Millionaire, which means I can now change her accessory if I want to. If I do, I'll be doing that off screen. Anyway. Encounters out the wazoo for some reason. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else. I'm just going to cut away now. See you in a little bit. And we're back. We pretty much got attacked on the screen transition. By the way, if you've noticed the Burmesian soldiers and the Burmesian people, they're all dead, unfortunately. Okay. I'm trying to recall if there's another mimic here. Anyway, that's a potion. Now that we've knocked this bridge over, we can cross here and get attacked by another monster. I do apologize for... I keep thinking I've forgotten something, but I don't really think I have yet. See, here's the introduction of Gradual Petrify. After this, I'm going to cut away. Alright, see y'all in a second. And welcome back. After a little bit of, another mimic. I forgot about this one. After a bit of equipment switching, I bring you back to a fight you've probably already seen. Since there are so few mimics in the game, I'm actually going to keep this fight in. I'm going to hope this doesn't do something, this isn't a stupid fight. I'm actually going to find out what those things are called, the things they summon. A magic vice. Oh, they can't steal, they can cast magic though, so they're dead anyway. Well, let's see what fire does to the... oh, poison! How kind of you. Yep. I don't know why she has anti-venom, but it does. Oh, that's kind of pointless. I didn't think the Mimic would be resistant to magic. Hey, call work this time. There we go. This match is over. Anyway, I think in the next room I'm going to leave it off for this recording. The Mimic actually dropped his own guard. I'm impressed. Most of the time the enemies don't drop their own cards, I've noticed. Anyway. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it off here. So, next time, we'll continue exploring Burmecia. And, I like this room. Kind of neat architecture. Anyway, see y'all in a little bit. Bye.